All right, late in the week here on Radio Row, but we found our friend Sam Acho.
Save the best for last, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
We're like almost even in the process of packing up here, so that's okay. We're happy Sam's here. He's got his book, which I remember talking about this book last year, but it wasn't out yet. So now here it is.
Yeah. So Change Starts With You. It actually. I received the first, like when you write a book, well, the process of writing a book is like you go through this whole process. Sometimes it takes 18 months, and you write it, and then you have to wait for the publisher to kind of publish it and bring it out, and you're waiting for the hard physical copy. I actually got the hard copy first time I ever saw it while I was at Radio Row last year, but the book wasn't out yet. So it came out since then, and it's really about just trying to be a change maker in your community. And so, I mean, we were joking, but like you guys, we were trying to figure out how to get in and get out like last minute, but it's really a book about like if you want to make a change, whether it's with social justice, right, some of the work we did in Chicago, whether it's in your family as a father, as a husband, as a mom, as a teacher, the change starts with you. And the subtitle talks about following your fire to heal a broken world. We all have different fires in our hearts. Sometimes they've been they dissipate. Other times they're burning fuel. So we want to like get that fire burning again. That's what this book's all about. So it's available anywhere you get books, Amazon, and yeah.
I mean, you've had a huge impact around Chicago, putting up supermarkets, right? And
yes.
All the things, man. So, I mean, it's not about you. It's about giving back, but it's got to feel good to have the impact that you've had and will have.
And we talk about it in this book as well. Even the reason why I wrote it was that there are a couple different organizations, different companies, different schools that were saying, hey, we heard about what you did in Chicago. You built this food mart, this food desert. How did you do it? And I would do interviews and talk to people, and then finally my wife was like, hey, how about you actually write about it and have a blueprint for people who want to make a change? And maybe it's something like a food mart. We had an 11-year-old girl who gave $14 because she had a little bit extra from the work that she was doing. And someone said, man, if she can give 14, I can give 140. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the mindset of like, hey, bring what you have. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's an idea. Maybe it's a partnership. Maybe it's mentorship. And that's the change that can just ripple for the entire generation and the community.
Well, you've done so much good stuff, and I know the Chicago community
appreciates the word.
Yeah, it's obviously needed too. Different community.
Yeah.
Krista and I went to Austin. In December, and I'm walking through the Hall of Fame there that they have. Really nice Hall of Fame, and there he is on the wall.
Of course he is.
Number 81.
There it is.
Sam Acho.
Yeah, it was cool. So last year, or I guess it was 2 years ago, I got inducted to the University of Texas Hall of Honor. But the point in that is, or the Hall of Fame, the point in that is that while I was playing, I didn't even know I was going to be good. I mean, I can imagine earlier in your careers where it's like, hey, you're trying to figure it out, and you see all these guys. I didn't know. I was playing with guys like Colt McCoy, guys like Brian Arakpo, guys, Alex Okafor, I'm trying to think of other names, Kenny Vaccaro, Earl Thomas. I didn't know if it would translate. And fast forward like day after day, moment after moment, you get better and better, you get worse and up and down, all the things. And then fast forward 10 years later, you realize you made the Hall of Honor. And I'm sure it's one of those things where, I don't know, people go through a lot. And, I mean, even life, I've gone through a lot. We all have gone through a lot. And when you're in the middle of it, in your midst of it, you don't realize it. And then sometimes you get on the other side, you're like, oh my gosh, like maybe I'll get the honor or the recognition, maybe I won't. But I've been there before. I've been through something. I can go through it again and come out on the other side.
Well, in that line of work, the margin with you guys is so thin. And if you're not like the guy, how do you get to be in the mix to get a shot and then end up in the NFL and have a career and make money and live your dream?
It's hard. I mean, to your point, so the margins are thin. There's a story, I don't know if I shared this with you all before, freshman year at Texas, and that was right around time. They just won a national championship back in 2005, Vince Young, the whole thing. And there's about 21 people in a recruiting class. And we had a guy by the name of Cleve Bryan. He actually passed away, but his wife, Jean, was our academic counselor. He was like the right-hand man of Mac Brown. And he sat all the freshmen after practice one day. And he said, just like this, 3 of us sitting, but it's like 21, right? He said, each one of y'all, I want you to look to your left, look to our left, look to your right, look to your right. He said, out of the people that are in that little circle, only one of y'all is going to make it to the NFL. The other one of y'all is probably going to get kicked out, and the other one's not going to make it to the league. And so I just want to level set expectations that this thing, the NFL dream, is not guaranteed. Now, mind you, to have 7 players in the NFL from a college team is pretty.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Right. And mind you, I said it was like Vince Young, right? But I was like, I remember hearing that and saying, I like my odds. Because I knew I'm not about to get kicked out for anything, right? And no, I may not be I was a 3-star recruit, may not be the biggest, fastest, strongest. I mean, you shoot baseball, 33%, 333 is a good, is a good batting average. And so it was this idea of like, yes, an opportunity, but then once you get it, what are you going to do with it? So like study hall, extra workouts, all those things. Like, you'll have a great opportunity here. Once you get it, what are you going to do with it?
Well, that's where people ultimately or hopefully learn the lesson at some point. Your biggest obstacle in life is you.
Bingo.
Period. End of story. You are up against yourself. So how do you compete with whatever the demons or just the part of you that just wants to lay down, take it easy, enjoy the moment, not look to the future? That is a very tough thing to understand and be able to push through. And the greats have it.
And the part that doubts.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, that's the hardest part for me of like, man, you've done all these things, but there's still this doubt and fear, and sometimes there's shame, and sometimes there's, depression or disgust, all these things. And it's funny, you talk about so boom, change starts with you. The stuff I write about in this book, I need to listen to myself.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And it's like, in times when you're down, like, that's what I hope this book is. That's why I brought it. It's like, I wanted people who are like struggling and who are down, who are maybe like going through a season of like, man, I don't want to get up right now. Or I don't have a dream anymore. Or like, man, like my show's not rating the way I want it to. How come everybody else is rising and I'm not?
Right.
Like, that's what this book is all about, of like, hey, like, you could be the answer to somebody's prayers. If you actually like stand up and get up and like start believing in yourself again. Maybe Adam, you need to be an encouragement to your coach. Like, maybe that's what needs to happen. And then all of a sudden,
I should do that.
I'll take that.
I should.
Thank you.
Yeah, because we never know. But all of a sudden, it's like, oh man, I needed you that day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom. Fast forward 10 years later, you're in the Hall of Fame and all the things.
Right. Mistaken beliefs. We all have them.
So how have you kind of channeled this to your new career? I mean, you're all over at ESPN. You're doing great work. A lot of college football studio work. This season, and I'm sure it comes with its own challenges, travel, being away from the family and all this stuff that you probably didn't think about when you were, just a player and like looking at people in the media, maybe thinking about it. And by the way, the first time I ever talked to you in Bourbonnais, I was like, this guy could be in the media, 100%.
I'm sitting here talking, and I was walking in with Sam. He's doing a radio, and I'm like, this dude is better than you. You should be doing NFL games for real. Is that an aspiration for you?
Well, I've done a lot of. I would love to. And what I'm super excited about is I've done a lot of college games. I'm excited this year again. I'm going to get a chance to do now. It's the UFL. What was the XFL? And for me, I just love being around, not necessarily the game, but around the players in the game, like the people. Like you talk about being in Bourbonnais. Like, it, maybe as weird as it sounded, like I liked seeing you guys because like we're grinding. It's every day, but it's like you see another kind of familiar face, and then sometimes you maybe read the story, sometimes we don't, but we know, hey, this person's kind of in my corner. For me, when I get a chance to call games, even when I was doing with the XFL, I would go down. Most people, you're in the press box.
Yeah.
You're up there in the box, you're doing your thing. I would go down to the field and just hang out there before the games to watch the players warm up. Sometimes to talk to some of the guys. Some guys would get on me, be like, hey man, you said that I had the wrong coverage. That wasn't me. That was my teammate, kind of thing. But the relationship. So I would love to call more games in the NFL. It's funny, I haven't been to a Super Bowl yet. I said when I was playing, I'm only going to go if I'm playing in the game. I'm not playing anymore, so maybe I go when I'm calling the game.
There you go. That's a good goal. I feel what you're saying, though. One of my favorite things about doing Northwestern sidelines was just, compared to being up in the press box with my computer, just being down there in the action, but not just during the game, but pre-game, like you're saying, and just like the things you see, the things you pick up on, the conversations you have, and like you're saying, the people you just see them in a different environment. Even this in Radio Row, we're talking to DJ Moore today, just
very relaxed,
not even having an interview, just like you're seeing guys. You get out of that locker room sometimes, and it's just like, oh, we can be normal human beings.
Yes, and we don't see that. We're into each other. What is it, Lifetime? A couple years ago, and it's like, oh wow, you're human.
Yeah.
It's not, this big bad football player or this reporter or this guy with this power. It's like, no, dude, you're a human being, right? We were walking it out. We were walking in together, and you were hearing stuff, learning stuff. I was like, dude, this guy got up out of his chair, ran to find me. You know what I mean? And so, like, that means a lot. That stuff means a ton. So I appreciate it.
It was absolutely our pleasure, and my pleasure on that one. I did that one myself. It was my pleasure. Here, let's give the Bear conversation. What do you think the Chicago Bears should do with the number 1 pick?
That's such a great question. What do I think they should do or will do?
I want to go with should. We can do both, but I'm more in the should. What's your opinion? What would you do, knowing what you know?
At this moment, what would I do? Mum's the word. I would, if I'm Ryan Poles, and I know I'm going to trade Justin Fields, I would act like I'm not, so that I can gain as much leverage as I can during this process. If I'm going to keep Justin Fields, maybe I would kind of just act like I'm going to trade. You know what I mean? So I would just try and have as much disguise as possible, because if teams know you're going to draft Caleb Williams, then all of a sudden they're like, well, I'm not going to trade a lot for Justin Fields, right? So that's what I would do currently. But when it comes to to trade, to keep, I think I would build around Justin. And the reason I say that is, well, here's one thing that maybe I'm sure people have talked about, maybe they haven't, but last year, Ryan Poles traded the number 1 overall pick, got DJ Moore, obviously got Darnell Wright, got some great DBs, got depth, and got weapons. This year, let's say the Chicago Bears can trade the number 1 pick again, and you can get, whether it's Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Because obviously Drake May is up there, 1 and 2, right? You can get another first-round pick next year. Who knows what you can get?
A lot.
Now the question is, well, is Justin Fields going to be enough?
Right.
But if you give him a DJ Moore and give him a Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously Cole Kmet had a really good year this year, right? You can continue to improve the offensive line, then you'll see. So I think that's a win. Now the other win, I don't think I'm not being double-minded, talking out of both sides of my mouth. If I'm Justin, I don't mind if I get traded.
That's the part we don't talk about enough.
That's really the piece. If I'm Justin, I played in the NFL. At the end of the day, I want to start. I want to be the starter. I want to make all this money. You want to go to a place where you're wanted, and you want to go with people who trust you, period, and who you can trust. And if you're not wanted in a place, if Justin's not wanted in Chicago, great. Let's go to Pittsburgh, where somebody actually wants you. Go to Atlanta, where somebody wants you and needs you and can build around you. It could be a win-win. Roquan Smith, right? Yeah. I was talking with Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles wanted to keep Roquan. He did. But Roquan wanted to get
all the money,
which is rightfully so.
Yeah,
he's one of the best linebackers in the NFL.
Right.
It was a win for Roquan to go to Baltimore, right? A game away from the Super Bowl. I don't know if you could say it was a win for the Bears, but you say, okay, trade value, whatever. But my point is, it can be a win-win, right? Justin Fields can go win in, I keep on saying Pittsburgh because I know they have a great defense. You can say Atlanta, give me some other teams, right? But you can win there. And then the Bears can build around Caleb Williams. They could build around Drake. I don't think they're going to Drake, but build around whoever they want to build around.
Right.
So I think the other part we're not talking about is, what does Justin want? And if I'm him, I'm not. But I want to go to a place where I'm wanted, and a place where I can actually trust the people. Not that he can't trust them, but
it's impossible to put yourself in his shoes. But I guarantee there's got to be part of him right now. It's like, all right, y'all are considering this, then get me out of here. I mean, he's got to be thinking that way.
That's part of the reason why I think, not just because of how good Justin is as a quarterback, but what you're talking about is part of the reason why I think he wherever he goes, he can still be very successful.
Yeah.
Because of that dynamic you're talking about. Whoever is going to trade for Justin Fields is going to want him and put him in a position to have success, which the Bears haven't always done.
And why aren't we talking about, well, let me not why, maybe I'm sure we're talking about it, but who drafted Justin?
Right.
So it's a different regime.
Yep.
Of course.
Not Poles.
And not Eberflus.
Yep.
And if you want to go back, maybe we don't go all the way back there, but sometimes people make decisions that are in their own self-interest, right? Okay, let me get a quarterback I can build around, maybe give me some extra years, right? So I'm not saying that you might have a different vision for a quarterback. You might have a different vision for a team if you're Ryan Poles. And it's no fault of Justin's.
Right.
So if I'm Justin, I'm just taking things a day at a time, put it that way. And I'm like, hey, if they keep me, that means they want me, and they're going to build around me. That means they're going to get a Marvin Harrison Jr. most likely, or Rome Odunze,
right,
or give me Joe Alton, right? Now, imagine having Joe Alton and Darnell Wright. I'm just saying, or imagine both. You know what I mean? Look what Houston did. Houston got offensive and defensive rookie of the year.
Would you like Brock Bowers
for the Bears?
Yeah, 2 tight end set.
So Brock is a dog. I'm actually training with Brock. Right? I'm training at Exos in Frisco. He's mainly doing a lot of rehab stuff, but and I've talked to the guy who one of the tight end. Brock is an animal. Yeah. What Will Anderson was doing in college, how he was better than everybody else. That's what Brock is and was even last year, the year before this season. If I'm the Bears, though,
I'm saying 3 quarterbacks go off the board early.
You're talking about the 9th pick.
I'm talking about the 9th pick. 3 wide receivers.
Trade back
They have the first and the ninth.
They got
pick.
1 and 9, right?
Oh,
So
they don't trade one.
They don't
so
trade
they get
one.
Caleb Williams.
Maybe they
at
draft. Say they take Caleb at 1. Now you're sitting at 9. 3 quarterbacks went off.
Roma
Odunze is not there. He's 3 receivers go 4, 5, 6. That's what a lot of people are projecting. So now it's like you could take the best.
Who is that? Malik? Who is
Neighbors, Odunze,
okay, and Harrison
and Marvin.
Yeah. It's tough.
I don't think that's a win for Chicago. I don't think having Brock Bowers and Cole Kmet and DJ Moore, I think you need another receiver.
Yeah.
I think you need a Rome Odunze. I think you need. I mean, I believe it's a deep receiver class.
I do too.
So maybe get the receiver in the second round, then it's 3rd round, 4th round, whatever. But you got to get it right, and they haven't done that.
Well, they could also sign another wide receiver too. I mean, that's the
Brock. So people are saying Brock Bowers.
Maybe you're trading from 9 down to 14, maybe adding down a pick, taking Bowers. Type of. There's a zillion scenarios, but that's one of them. I'm just looking. I'm thinking playmaker and who's the best you can get, and looking at who's going to be there. Your 4th wide receiver or the top tight end. You know, it's at least intriguing to me.
Oh, so you're saying the Bears don't trade up? Why not trade up from 9?
So you could do that too. Now you're mortgaging it, but you're gonna have to give up a ton.
But they traded up they traded with Darnell Wright. There was a trade involved there.
They
right?
traded back one spot.
Spot. So they're like
they could, but those are big time guys with teams that need them. So they're gonna, for them to move back. It's gonna be pricey. You can do it.
You think Odunze is gonna go top 6?
I personally just think he's really, really good.
So where's Joe Alt going to go? My bad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No, you might have a tackle there. Then you make it.
Where is Olu from Penn State going to go?
I think he could be available there.
So you're telling me that's what? Hold on, my bad. So because I was covering college, that's 1, 2, 3. The quarterbacks, 4, 5, 6 receivers.
Yeah.
Maybe 7 and 8 offensive linemen.
He's trying to tell you that there's players that are better than adding a second tight end.
Yes, I got it.
When you already have one.
I got it.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that Brock probably is going to be available higher than 9.
Yes,
that's
I agree.
What I'm saying.
I agree.
Saying that, and that Odunze might be available later than. I think trades are going to happen. It's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be quarterback.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Do you have a favorite of this group of quarterbacks?
I'm going to come back at you, Sam, after this thing falls after the draft and remind you that Carm had it.
I would love if that were the case. Because I haven't considered that.
Yeah.
Caleb, Drake,
Daniels.
Yep.
Marvin.
Harrison.
Yep.
Odunze.
Neighbors.
If you got that right, I'd be super happy. But I don't see that.
Trust me, our friends here from PHNX in Phoenix, there's no way they're letting Marvin Harrison Jr. go past 4.
That's okay.
They're already threatening us over it. Like we have nothing to do with it.
I mean, Marvin. Right, Marvin might. You could go quarterback, receiver, QB. I could see that happening. But
I think quarterback 1 and 2. I think Harrison 3. I don't think Jay Daniels goes 3.
I don't think he should, but
to 3 to who?
But do you know how teams draft quarterbacks? And the Patriots would be
New England.
They need a quarterback. They're at 3. That's the thought.
Trades are going to happen.
Yeah,
trades are going to happen. I wouldn't go if Brock Bowers falls into Chicago's lap. I'm not mad.
Right.
I'm also not happy because I think Chicago would need outside weapon.
100%.
Like, remember Jackson Smith and Jigba, what he's doing in Seattle, and Tyler Lockett, outside weapon. Look at DJ Metcalf, right? DK Metcalf, outside weapon. So I think the Bears, if you have an opportunity to get Marvin Harrison Jr. or Odunze later.
I'm a big Roman Odunze guy.
I like Odunze.
If he falls to 9, I'll run up there and make the pick myself. Do you have what are your thoughts on Caleb Williams and Drake May?
I think they're different quarterbacks. I don't know. I don't know if Caleb Williams is a sure thing.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't think that's a wow. I think that's just.
Well.
You know what I mean?
If you think that, though, it is a wow for the.
But why is that?
I think I've seen some wow plays from Caleb. I mean, he's better than a lot of people on the field in college. But this isn't college. This is the NFL. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you're not able to, at the quarterback position, do all the, like, this dude is like a magician back there. And maybe it'll translate, but maybe it won't. That's my thing. And I don't know if Drake May's a sure thing. I mean, I'm a fan of Drake May, but I don't think it's guaranteed that Caleb Williams' game is going to translate. Nor maybe not Drake's either, right? But I just don't think, like, remember, you're not comparing to Johnny Manziel, but like Johnny Manziel in college was just so much better. Just better, physically gifted. That's what Caleb Williams is, physically gifted. Now he's a much better passer, better system, all those stuff as Caleb Williams is. So I just don't think it's a sure thing. That's just.
I mean, with your mindset, I want him to keep Justin. If
Did
that's,
he just convince you?
No.
Well, none of them are ever a sure thing.
As close to a sure thing as there is.
Sure,
that's how you're making that pick. If I'm the Bears,
otherwise, you think Caleb is?
I mean, I've heard so many people call him generational talent. I watch him run around out there, and he's moving left, he's firing it right. On the money. Insane arm talent. Crafty, any which way throw is you see a lot of some Patrick stuff there. But I've been watching Oklahoma/USC every game. Like I can't sit there and pound on the table. You must take this dude. He's absolutely it. I don't know it to that level.
Yeah, put it this way, I wouldn't be mad if Chicago. I wouldn't be happy, but I'd be happy for Justin if he went to the right place. But like if Chicago went Caleb Williams, I don't think that's a bad decision. I think it's better to trade that pick for more.
A little more conservative.
That's what we keep losing in this conversation. They're in a tremendous spot that most teams are never in, and both outcomes could be
right.
good.
Let's bring across win-win for the Bears.
100%.
Yeah.
Sam, always great to see you. The book, again, Change Starts With You. I'm going to have to definitely pick up a copy of that and read it. I love stuff like that. And
it's the best.
Yeah, and it's, again, always good to see you.
Yeah, thanks.
Take yourself to the next level.
Yeah.
That's the goal in life. Day by day, Hoge.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Be better the next hour than you were this hour.
Can we go get on our flight home?
We're leaving.
We all silly like the mayor.